So Hare Krishna. So welcome everybody to my YouTube channel. Today we are going to discuss one of the topic from first canto. This is 19th chapter and text is 3. So here it is said, this actually verse is spoken by Parikshit Maharaj. All of you know about Parikshit Maharaj. सभी को तो पता है परीक्षित महाराज के बारे में. So our topic is the neglect of Brahmnical culture, God consciousness and cow protection, which is very prominent nowadays. आज की डेट में ये तीनों तो पूरे खतरे में है. So in this lecture we will discuss that what is Brahmnical culture, how to revive this God consciousness, how to protect the cows, cow protection. So very nice lessons we can learn from this verse, and it will be beneficial for the state, for the government, for the country. So let's begin it. So verse is as follows: Advaiva rajyam balaridha kosam prakopita brahmakula nolo me dahantu abhadrasya punarname bhut papi yasidhir dujadeva gobhyah. So Parikshit Maharaj is regretting that I am papiyasi. I am the mosama patita prabhu napaive are. I am the most sinful one. Apichet bhi papebhyo sarvebhyo papakrittama. So Parikshit Maharaj is actually, because of his pretty namra swabhav, due to that he did this mistake. What he did? Why he is calling himself that I am the sinful one? He is the king, Rajarsi. So he said, Advaiva Rajam Balamridha Kosam. So as you know, Parikshit Maharaj is the descendant of the Pandavas. Pandava ka jo uttaradhari ka. And Yudhishthir Maharaj, he himself coronated Parikshit as the king. So Balaridham Kosam, his strength and riches, Kosam, treasury, was flourishing. So nowadays, those countries are like advanced countries. European countries are advanced. We are now developing countries. Developed country or developing countries. Some countries are underdeveloped. Key country underdeveloped. But just you cannot imagine. Just imagine that Yudhishthir Maharaj had done 3 Rajasuya Yajna. Parikshit Maharaj also. So much riches in his kingdom. So he says that Prakopita Brahmakula Anala Meda Davato. Let it burn by the Brahmana community's disrespect. Because he disrespected the Brahmana community. How he did disrespect? So Parikshit Maharaj, while he was hunting, he was fatigued. He was feeling hungry, thirsty. So I said in my lecture that previously the kings, they used to go to the forest for hunting to kill the ferocious animals like lion, then tiger, elephants, like that. So that was their part of training. Sometimes the modern days, some people, those who don't understand our culture, they also translated all those books where they write down that the kings were used to go to the forest just to get meat. Maans khane ke liye. No, not like that. So Parikshit Maharaj, he came across the hermit of sage Samika, and he saw that Samika Rishi was doing meditation. Because he was a Brahmana, he was a Rishi. So daily routine was to meditate upon the Lord. So we do also meditation. What meditation? Mantra meditation, by chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. We do also the meditation. So he was doing meditation, he was in trance. So he asked for water, but the sage did not answer because he was doing meditation. So Parikshit Maharaj thought, maybe this sage who is imitating, he just neglecting me. Maybe he is a pseudo ऋषि, pseudo ऋषि जो कि छल कर रहा है. So that's why Parikshit Maharaj became angry and he placed one snake on the Samiko Rishi's neck. So the sage had one son named Shringi Rishi, and that Shringi Rishi, he was actually that time playing with his friends. So he was playing. So he heard that incident. His father was disrespected by one king. So he became angry. Generally, Brahmana boys were taught to become humble, taught to tolerate, they taught to learn the slokas, they taught to, but that boy, he became angry. And he cursed immediately. His curse was that this king will die within 7 days of a snake bite. That was the curse. Because for disrespect Rishi Samik, so Parikshit Maharaj, he actually died also. Because after Takhyaka bite Parikshit. So when Samika Rishi, he knew that he was dissatisfied with his son's behavior. Then Samika Rishi ordered his disciple Gurumukh to go to Parikshit and tell him everything about his death. When Parikshit Maharaj heard about it, this incident, he said that, Papi Yasi, I am the sinful person, I did this. What is he says? He says, I am uncivilized and sinful due to my neglect of Brahmnical culture, God consciousness and cow protection. As a king must give protection to the Brahmnical culture. He should respect, but he did not respect. He should give the opportunity to the people, his subjects, to follow God consciousness. And he should also help the people, that people should do cow protection. So that's why his wish was that is because due to that mistake, Parikshit Maharaj saying, let my kingdom strength, riches born up immediately by the fire of the Brahmana's wrath. Yes, so that na punar abhut, in future that will not occur again. He said that I may not be guided by such inauspicious attitudes. Because inauspicious attitude means, so one Srila Prabhupada writes that Krishna consciousness depends on the attitude of the devotees. मनोवृत्ति के ऊपर डिपेंड करता है. The purport Srila Prabhupada writes, human civilization is based on practically Brahmnical culture, God consciousness and protection of cows. But nowadays, our civilization is totally violating these rules. Violating the Brahmanical culture, God, there is no such God consciousness. If someone is talking about God, then people says, maybe a madman. Maybe, क्या बात करते God के बारे में? What to speak of cow slaughters? Even the Christians, Jesus Christ says, he said, thou shalt not kill. but people are killing. Yes, people are killing, their master in killing. Once one of the father in Germany, he said to Srila Prabhupada that, Swamiji, people wants, then what? People had this desire that they say that give us meat. So that's why we are allowing. Otherwise you don't want to allow. So that's why Srila Prabhupada gave one suggestion. What is that suggestion? All the economic development, state by trade, by commerce, industries, must be utilized in relation to the above principles. But modern politicians are regretting. They sometimes say that no, so much land is used by the temple. If these lands are vacant, we can put some factories over there. They think like that. So that's why the so-called economic development becomes a source of degradation. So although nowadays so many countries are prospering because they have oil, they have mines, mineral ores, they have so much things, but still these countries are not happy. The peoples are not happy because the very source of their economic development becomes a source of degradation of their culture, their lifestyle. So that's why Prabhupada writes in his purport that we should be very careful. So cow protection means what? It means we are feeding the Brahmnical culture. Brahmano ko hum badhawa de rahe. How? So Brahmanas, when they do worship every day, the deities, they bathe the deities with Panchagabhya, Panchamrut. So Panchagabhya, Panchamrut, everything, it actually, the most of the items we get from the cows. गाय से हमको मिल रहा है. And which leads towards God consciousness. And the perfection of human civilization is achieved. Yes. By doing that, the Brahmanas actually circulate, they preach this message to the people that people could take off. So, in this particular age, within this world, the influence of the Kali Yuga, at an opportune moment nowadays, even a strong king like Parikshit Maharaj was induced to disregard the Brahmanical culture due to slight provocation of hunger and thirst. Although Parikshit Maharaj was a great devotee, he should not behave like that. But this is a lesson for all of us that we may be a devotee, we may be a good in our character, may be provoked. हम लोग भी विचलित हो सकते हैं. So, in the modern time, there is no such question of hunger or thirst because the government is giving ration pani to government दे रहा है. We have all these things, but still we are provocated, we are misled. So after understanding this incident, Parikshit Maharaj lamented, but we are not lamenting. We are not thinking about all these things. So that's why Parikshit Maharaj, he himself wants to give punishment to himself, that this kingdom, strength and accumulation of wealth would be burned up for not being engaged in Brahmanical. That is useless. Srila Prabhupada established the Brahmanical culture in all over the world. He preached this message of Krishna consciousness in Western countries, African countries, Asian countries, everywhere he preached. So now, by preaching, by helping others, by giving the message of Bhagavad Gita, by giving the message of Srimad Bhagavatam, everywhere people are taking this Brahmanical culture, everywhere. So, our wealth and strength, we should engage in the advancement of Brahmanical culture, God consciousness, cow protection. And if we failed to do that, then surely the society, the civilization would be doomed by providence. कुछ समय में collapse हो जाए. If we want peace and prosperity, in the whole world, we should take lessons from this verse, so that every state and every home must endeavor to advance the cause of Brahminical culture for self-purification, God consciousness for self-realization, and cow protection for getting sufficient milk and the best food to continue perfect civilization. Srila Prabhupada writes this very important thing, that yes, so Brahminical culture for self purification, हम अपना जो शुद्धिकरण कैसे करेंगे? सत्य, दम, तप, शौचम, क्षांति, आर्जव, वचा, ज्ञानम, विज्ञानम, आस्तिक्यम, ब्रह्म कर्म स्वभावच. So Brahmana means who do tapasya, who speak the truth, who is self-controlled, who is acquiring knowledge, and that knowledge is also applied knowledge. He is very clean. So through this preaching of Krishna consciousness, we are requesting all over the world, if someone is somehow or other comes in contact with the devotees, then immediately he starts to follow it. Immediately follow करने लगता है. Yes, every day to take bath, every day to chant mantras like Hare Krishna Mahamantra, Gayatri mantra. There are so many mantras. Nam Kari Bahudha Nijasya Pasakti. So today is Srivas Thakur appearance day. Srivas Thakur, he was the associates of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Srivas Thakur, yes, the incarnation of Narada Muni. According to Gauda Ganga, this Deepika, this book, Srivas Thakur, he was Narada Muni. He comes to this metal to spread this holy name. भगवान के नाम का प्रचार किया. तो Srivas Thakur, in his home, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did many pastimes. Yes, he is a Brahminical culture. He has so much strong faith upon Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Yes, Srivas Thakur, Sri Ram Pandit, Sripati or Srinidhi. There are 4 brothers from Srihatta, from Bangladesh. They used to stay in Navadvip Dham. Navadvip Dham में रहते थे. In the courtyard of Srivas Thakur, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was every day he was doing Sankirtan, Kirtan. One day, one brahmachari who was drinking only milk, eating some fruits, he requested to Srivas Pandit, Srivas, please allow me to see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu dance. And Srivas Thakur saw that this Brahmana is Naistika Brahmachari, drinking only milk. He allowed, okay, we allow you to see the Mahaprabhu dance. And that Brahmana was hiding and seeing Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's beautiful dance. So after some time, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu felt that someone is inside. He was not feeling that ecstasy that day. So that's why he called to Srivas, someone who is unauthorized person inside this room. Have you allowed someone? Then Srivas Pandit said, he knew that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Antaryami. So that's yes, one Brahmana who is only drinking milk, he is a Naistic Brahmachari, he is staying. He requested me, that's why I allowed him. Then Mahaprabhu chastised, he said, by just drinking milk, eating fruits, that is the qualification to see me, see my dance. Mahaprabhu wanted to test. He wanted to see that what is the mood of that Brahmana. That Brahmana immediately was kicked by Srivas Thakur from his home. And that Brahmana was crying. He was, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, he said that, when will Chaitanya Mahaprabhu be merciful unto me, that he will give the chance to participate in his Sankirtan. Then Mahaprabhu said, after millions of years, karoda saal ke baad, then that Brahmana was dancing. He danced immediately. Then why you are dancing? Then he said, yes, Mahaprabhu is so merciful that he picks the date that millions of life after that I will be eligible to enter. Then Mahaprabhu said, okay, that is the proper mode. So Brahmanical culture was practiced by the devotees. Brahma janati iti Brahmana. If one is trying to understand Brahman, that is self-purification. Then God conscious for self-realizations. It is not that someone is going to the God's home, temple, mosque, monastery, church to ask God, please give us our daily bread. No, not like that. We should practice this God consciousness for self-realization to understand who am I. Kiyami kene amar jarata patroy. Who am I? Why am I suffering in this material world? How can I deliver myself from this material world? How can I get Krishna prem? So that means God consciousness. At the end, cow protection. Yes, all the government, like in India, Uttar Pradesh government gives so much, help for cow protection. They release the money. Because if we protect the cows, then we will get good foods to continue this perfect civilization. Otherwise, it is not possible. So this verse we can learn a lot of messages. Because whatever we do, our wealth and strength, we should input it. We should input it for our advancement of Brahmanical culture. So thank you very much for hearing this lecture. जगद्गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल।